Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to round 3 of the Secret Not Secret Kit Club telephone game hop. So I think I'm about number 7. The very first layout that went up in this round was on the 26th, so on Boxing Day, and I'm in Scrappy Shenanigans team, and our lead off was Ronnie Sue Scrapper. So I'm recording this video on the 27th, but I made this layout, I think, maybe about a month ago, and I actually watched Ronnie's layout, her video, yesterday, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to stop watching. I got to get my video recorded because it's so much fun to see the transformation of these, and my layout looks nothing like the very first one. So this game is just so much fun. If you're not familiar with the telephone game, if you recall when we were kids, one person would tell a story to another, who would repeat it to another, who would repeat it to another, and on, and then it was always fun to see the difference in the story between the first and the last, and we are doing that with layouts. So Kelsey Mae Webster was just prior to me. So she is the one that sent me her gorgeous layout. And when we were actually getting our layouts done, the only layout we would see is the person before us. So the only layout that I saw was this lovely layout from Kelsey. And I absolutely love Kelsey's style. I love her way of layering. I love how she uses every last little bit. She just has a beautiful way of layering and a beautiful way of clustering. She uses a lot of doilies, which I like. So this layout is just so much fun, and it was great to scrap lift. But now my photos that I wanted to scrapbook for this layout were landscape as opposed to portrait. So I just decided to flip Kelsey's layout a little bit. And but however, other than that, I this time stayed pretty true to her layout. Now, if you've been watching us for the 7 days, you will see that somewhere along the line, we went rogue, but it's so much fun. I just love it. So I stayed fairly close. I then sent my layout on to Daisy from Daisy Scraps, and you will see her take on this layout tomorrow. And I think we have a couple more left in our team. So, as I mentioned previously, I did do this layout quite a while ago. I think probably a month ago now already, if not a little bit more. So I was working at that time. I was working with a lot of those mini kits I had put together. If you recall, it was How to Kill a Kit with Style for November, where I had picked up a lot of the mini kits I had prepared previously for Nicole Jones' class, the Scrapathon 4. So this is what I used. So if you see Kelsey's layout here, she framed her entire layout on a piece of pattern paper, and I did exactly the same thing. So this is quite an older piece of paper from Maggie Holmes. Was it the Shine collection, maybe? I don't remember the name, but I know it's a Maggie Holmes paper. And then she had sort of about, I guess, an 11.5 by 11.5 piece of pattern paper with little tiny polka dots on it. I sort of follow the same with the dots, but mine are bigger. They're more circles, I guess, but on a white background, so that although the circles are bigger, it's still fairly airy. And this piece of paper comes from an old Scraptastic kit from, I think, 2014, maybe 2015, an old Scraptastic kit. This sort of horizontal rectangle here, which acts as a shelf in my taste for the photos, and acted as just a lovely embellishment area on Kelsey's, acts a little bit more as a shelf on mine, is also from Maggie Holmes. And then this little strip, I think is from a Chanel. I think it's from, not Field Trip, the one before. Is it from Sparkle City? I think maybe from Sparkle City. I had just a nice strip left. So I put it across here in exactly the same way that Kelsey did. So again, as I always do, I get my sort of background organized. I generally start with that. I have always chosen my photos ahead of time. And these photos, this layout will go yet again into my passion scrapbooking. This is the second to last layout. You will see, you will have seen on Sunday, because actually this is, although I'm recording this on the 27th, it is the 1st of January. Oh my goodness, Happy New Year. Happy 2020. I can't believe it's 2020. Happy 2020 to all of you. I wish you nothing but happiness, health, some giggles every day, and just the right amount of adventure in your life. Okay, back to back to the layout. Every year, my local and in real life scrappy friends, we get together in November, the first weekend of November, for a Christmas card crop, which we did as always this year. But one of our friends this year, we are normally 5. One of our friends this year has moved out of the country because her husband has a contract out of the country for a few years. So she is very, very far away from us. So these photos are at the cocktail time on the Saturday. Our card crop is Friday evening and then all day Saturday, including Saturday evening. So we have a little bit of a cocktail and then we enjoy a dinner that we just order out together. So this year we took a photo at our wine time to cheer our friend Marie-Josée, and we sent it to her by messenger. So we sent her a cheers because we were missing her this year. So that's what this layout is all about. So Marie-Josée was missing this year. She's in Africa, so we took a photo at wine time, toasted and cheered her, and then sent her the photo. So my photos are two. So this one I sort of cropped. This is the original photo, which I printed out as is. So you can see my lovely friend. We were at this lady's house. You can see all of we had lots of room. And then I just cropped it so that you could see the 4 of us a little closer up. And again, I mounted it and layered it pretty much the same way that Kelsey did hers, a very narrow mat here, where I used the paper that I used as a frame. Then I used the back side of this paper for a little bit of a wider frame. I used this scrap here for the scalloped portion that is here, and here, and here. And then just did some black cardstock here just so that it would all pop up nicely. And this is actually flat to the page. It is not up on Pop Dots because I wanted to put the journaling up on Pop Dots. So I got the photo down and then I started working on the clusters. So now, again, I followed this cluster fairly closely and I followed this cluster fairly closely as well. And I would say really the only area that I really deviated a little bit is my title. Kelsey put her lovely title along here, which would be at the bottom of her layout. And so I actually kept mine at the bottom of my layout, but because I flipped it on this particular layout, it turns out to be at a little bit of a different spot. I put a piece of doily here, and a piece of doily here, as Kelsey did. I have my banner here, which is again part of the frame paper, a tag, and then here, just to mimic a little bit, I added maybe a little bit more. I sort of put, this is from Paige Evans, one of her collections, where she had some sort of tabs and a little bit journaling spots, and I put 8 and 9, so the date, 8-9 November 2019, a yearly tradition. And then I sort of cut it a little bit, and I just put a little bit of the rest here, so that I have this similar little cluster, a couple of little stars, an enamel dot, and some twine that came in my advent calendar of last year. And then over on this cluster, I again put the doily. I have the journaling spot, which is pretty much the same. Now I added another tag here with a little bow. This bow is a bow that I got back when Cheeky Studios wasn't, I don't believe Tuesday's business is operating anymore. I know she's getting married and she's a new grandma, I think, so there's just probably just too much going on in her life. But these were some lovely little bows that I got from Cheeky Studio back in the day. And then my title here is Scropines. Scropines. Now, in French, the word copine is pals, buddies, friends. It's a little bit of a colloquial word for friends. And then scrap, so it's a little bit of a mixture of that. And we sort of called ourselves, that's sort of a little bit of the name we give to our little group, Les Scropines, that we did quite a while ago. So I just used that as my title. I'm missing the S, which is really terrible. I'm going to have to fix that because I really hate it, because when things are not exactly right, but I just couldn't get the S on. So I may have to go back and fix that because it bothers me every time I look at it. Then a few little word phrases, weekend, because it was a weekend, today, for the day that we took the picture, together, as we are, love this, details, which points sort of down a little bit, I guess, to the journaling. So there you have it. There is my take on Kelsey's gorgeous layout. I will put it here again for you to see it if you would like to just, pause, and if you would like to scrap lift her layout. There you go. You can just take a little bit of a screenshot of that. And mine here if you'd like to do the same thing. And if you have not been following along from the start, go back to Ronnie Sue Scrapper, her channel. I will put the link below. I'm going to try, I don't know how we're going to be able to do this. If I'm going to be able to have the link to everybody's channel, but I certainly will have the link to Ronnie Sue's video, the first video in the series, a link to Kelsey's channel or video, and a link to Daisy Scrap's channel or video. So follow along and let me know. Now, if you've been following along all the way, let me know where you think we went the most rogue and what do you enjoy the most about these telephone hop games. And we will be continuing. We're going to have a fourth round sometime in 2020. So thank you for being here. And I will talk to you again all very soon. And again, happy New Year. Bye for now.